Hello everyone, welcome back again to my YouTube channel DataSpeaks. In the previous video, I have covered for loop basics, including range, zip, and enumerate function. In this video, I will continue with data-oriented examples, along with the break, continue, pass, which is called loop control. And in the next and last video in for loop series, we'll cover nested for loop along with the while loop. So let's straight dive into this. Let's continue learning for loop and master on it. Let's begin this video with data-oriented for loop examples, where we will try to filter the data using for loop, and also we'll try to transform each elements of a list with the for loop, and we'll compare that with the classic loop example with the list comprehension as well. So let's straight dive into this. I will create a list called nums here, and I will define some values, that is 12, 5, 0, -3, 18, and 7. And I want to create a empty list, which is called positive squared. And those will be empty list. I'm going to store those positive numbers and also squared values. Then I will begin with writing for loop. For loop begins with for n in nums. So I want to go each numbers in nums. What I want to say, if the number is greater than 0, not even 0, greater than 0, then I would square them. I would say positive squares. This empty list will be appended with each elements that are positive and greater than 0. Those will be squared, and I will append those each individual values. Then I will later on, outside the for loop, then I would like to print the positive squares. That is how I would be sure that my numbers got filtered with greater than 0 and also got squared. Let's hit run button and let's get the values. Look at this here. I had 12, the positive number, it got included, 12 multiplied by 12. So just to verify, 12 multiplied by 12 is 144. Here we got the value 144. 5 5 is 25, which is greater than 0. Now 0, it is not included because we are excluding 0. We're saying greater than 0. We're not saying greater than or equal to 0. That's why that's excluded. We have a -3. It has to be greater than 0. That is excluded. 18, which is greater than 0 and which is positive number, we are squaring them. So 18 multiplied by 18. Just to verify, 18 multiplied by 18 or times 2 is going to be 324. That is included here, and 7 sevens are 49. Positive number greater than 0 got squared, and we have a 49 here. This is effective way of filtering the data and performing a calculation or transformation, whichever you would like to term with. That is the powerful way of utilizing for loop for this data transformation and data filtering process at element level inside a iterable. Let's now use the list comprehension to achieve the same result as above, that is way too less line of code and easier to understand. That is called readability of the code. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to define a variable directly right here that says positive squared comprehension equals, and then I'm going to use list comprehension technique using for. I need to begin with the square bracket, end with the square bracket into list comprehension, because we know that list opens and closes with the square bracket. I would say n squared to for n for each individual elements in the list nums that we have defined, only if n is greater than 0. So this will get the job done in the same way that we have got the job done here, but with way too less line of code. Let's print out the positive square comp and see if the result exactly match as above. I will run that line of code and look at this here. 144 compares with 144, 25 with 25, 324 with 324, 49 with 49. Apple to apple comparison. This is the greater way of accomplishing the for loop task with less line of code and less compute resource consumed. Next, I want to show you is the frequency count using for loop in the dictionary pattern. Let's assign a string value words a simple string that is called data science is the best domain for the career in 2025. It is very exciting. I will split words. I'll create a words list and I will split the words at the single word level. This is a sentence. To this sentence, I would like to split at each individual words. That split by default will happen at the space. So if I will call words.split, then the words list becomes list of individual words that we had into words. Next, I would like to define a empty dictionary called FREQ or frequency. In that, I will loop over individual words in the word list and I will try to see the unique count of each words in that list. I would like to say for word in words list, FREQ word, and I will say FREQ.get word 0 and then the +1 if that is not already part of key. And simply I will print that FREQ and you have each individual word count. So here the repeats twice, is repeats twice, everything else repeat just once. So this way you can create a count of the words within a text set of data or maybe in the list, whichever you have there already prepared. Next I would like to show you is break with for loop, which helps us to stop the execution early as the condition turns true. Let's begin with a small list called nums here. I would like to say 4, 7, 15, 21, and 9. Pretty small number. And I want to show you how does the break work. Our target is to find out if we have number 15 in the list. As Python starts iterating over each individual elements in the list, beginning with 4, like 4, 7, 15, 21, and 9. As soon as it finds 15, I don't want the code to go and look for the 15 again. I want it to break right here. That's the ultimate objective we want to accomplish with this for loop. Let's write down a for loop. I will say for n in nums if the target is met. So if n is 15, then I would like to say the target is found. The target number is 15. 15 is found, then I would like to break the execution of the code. It will no more go to 21 and 9 and try to find out 15 because 15 is already found. That is the idea here, and that's it. We have got 15 found. This way it is very effective when you have a very large amount of data and you have a limited compute resource or you want to save some compute resource and time. This will be very effective way to early end the code if the target is achieved. Next I would like to show you is continue with for loop, which will help us to skip the current iteration based on the condition we provided. Let's see a quick example here. What I want to do is I want to write a for loop, say for n in range, which we used earlier, range between 1 to 20. If n modulo 2 equals 0, that means if n is a even number, then continue. Even number in this case will not be included into our print statement because we are continuing to the next element in that specific range. If I run this line of code, you will see that I have all odd numbers from a data with the list of numbers. If you want to extract all the odd numbers, this can be one of the easiest way to accomplish that task, that you can get all the odd numbers skipping or continuing when the odd number comes into the iteration on that iterable. Last thing I would like to show you in this video is pass using for loop. That means let's do something later on a certain condition. Let's take an example here. I would like to create a list called numbers here. And I would like to give you a bunch of numbers including 10, -5, 20, 100, -30, 50, and 66, and 0. In this list, I would like to do is for n in numbers. If n is smaller than 0, then pass. If it is negative number, then in the list, then I will do something later. For now, let's just print all the numbers that we have in this numbers list. That way, we have the idea of what values are there in the list, and we have some placeholder pass statement here so that we can come back later and do something so that the code doesn't error out and doesn't break the next stuff that we are doing in this project. So that is why the pass is really important when you want to just pass for now, and let's continue doing the stuff that we are doing. That way you can come back and do the stuff that you're pending in this pass statement as a placeholder. This is all in this video for the for loop. In the next video, we will cover nested for loop and while loop. Please do not forget to check that next video in the series. Until then, thank you for watching, and if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, please do so, and also please hit that like button in this video, and I'll see you in the next video.